Poisoning the food chain. Why are the biggest fish most toxic? Why are the biggest fish also the most toxic? Fish provide food for millions of people all over the world. In coastal communities, people eat fish several times a day. Fish are also important of the balance of nature. They eat plants and animals and in turn become food for other living creatures. The marine food chain begins with tiny floating plants called phytoplankton and small animals like zooplankton. In the next step in the chain is a small fish like bay anchovies, which eat the tiny organisms. Larger fish like spotted sea trout eat the smaller fish. Eventually the sea trout might be caught by fishermen who eats the fish or sells it to a store or a restaurant. In this food chain, human beings hold into a place at the top. So does that mean that we're the highest predators in the food chain? So that means, lucky for us, we're the big ones. Despite regulations, pollutants sometimes make their way from land to the water. Many chemicals are used on farms to kill insects and control weeds. They can perform a useful service to human beings, but they can also be harmful to organisms like fish. One common toxin found in fish is mercury, a heavy metal on the periodic table. Nature releases mercury in the form of volcanic gases and in the weathering of rocks. Human beings release mercury into the environment by burning waste and using fossil fuels. When pollutants like mercury fall to the ground in the form of rain or snow, they flow into bodies of water, lakes, and streams, then carry mercury into the oceans. The concentration of toxins in fish gets stronger and stronger over time because the animal's internal organs can't break down the chemicals. Bioaccumulation is the buildup of chemicals that break down very slowly in the body. Fish higher up on the food chain survive by eating smaller fish that have been contaminated. They take in more toxins because they eat more. Pollutants can move up the food chains, contaminating the food humans beings eat. At each level of the food chain, concentration of the toxins get higher. This biological amplification is the increase of concentrations of chemicals in organisms at higher levels of a food chain. King mackerel, shark, swordfish, and howfish contain the highest levels of mercury. However, there are plenty of other fish such as flounder, sole, wild salmon, and farmed catfish are low in mercury and other harmful chemicals. Choose your fish wisely, and it can be a helpful part of your diet.